Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Summer 2020. I'm Atlas, joined by the wonderful LS, back again after you had Saturday, Sunday off, and then Monday, Tuesday. It's like 4 days in a row. Extraordinary stuff. How are you feeling? A little bit recharged?
I haven't really had a day off this week, Atlas, if you've been following, but we're kicking it back off with DRX versus KT.
Exactly.
And DRX look like they're just going to continue up on a tear, and that KT is really just struggling. It seems like their spring second wind has really faded.
Yeah, or they just haven't found that second wind again yet here in summer. Maybe this is a new thing that KT are doing. It's lose a whole bunch at the beginning of the season and then try their best to pull it all the way back. At the moment, though, you can see sitting in 7th place, owning that one by themselves. But on the other side of the standings, that's where things get really exciting. DRX and Dam1 well and truly up the top, with Afrika, T1, and Gen G all sort of neck and neck there near that 3rd place mark, sitting on 4 and 2. DragonX fell so far with their recent loss against Sandbox. They went from 3rd all the way to 6th. That is a plummet, if ever I have seen one.
Yeah, it's absolutely a plummet, and we'll see later on tonight if Sandbox are actually going to manage to keep up.
I mean, they have missed 100% now, so obviously they're going to be able to just keep cruising on through. Yamato Cannon's here and ready to get down to business. And speaking of business, BDD and Beryl right up the top of the player of the game standings. Mystic, after his first week, has not accrued any more points. He got all of the POG votes for the first 2 victories and then haven't really seen much from him since. With Rich and Canna there sitting on 400 points, but I believe we've got a few more players as well with stats to around that tune, but I just didn't get that particular stat sheet here today. Just going to have to look in, just have a bit of a checkup with the people that are handing out those stat sheets.
Well, there is the pick ban rate, Varus at 95.2% here in the LCK. You might have seen the stat about Varus in the LPL. That is, that's something. Well, Karma, 90.5%. Only a 1-in-3 record, though. So 25% win rate for her. Ezreal, expect to see him again here today. All of these champions are probably ones that will end up remaining inside of the pick ban here. For, well, I don't know how long. I'll be honest with you. That is moving very slow.
It certainly is, and I don't think we're expecting too much. I believe we are moving on to 10-13 here today, which is going to create a couple of changes, but not too many changes, you know? We do have Nunu and Cogmore, though. These are the ones that we're looking out for. If you guys haven't already, make sure you check out LS's patch rundown. We'll give you all of the right information about the skins that you need to buy for this particular patch worth of Riot store purchases.
10-14, which just dropped today, is fantastic. Prestige Zoe, you gotta get it. But as far as balance changes, I actually think we can see Nunu come out here today. I was so excited when I saw the changes doing the rundown 2 weeks ago. I basically thought, okay, this AP ratio, you go and look at Nunu, it's too much. Mages aren't going to be able to move him. He can roam like Kiana, build like a tank, stick to you. It's really, really scary. He could definitely draw bans and picks here today. And then obviously you have AP Pogmaw on the other side. He could come out as well as the AP variant, able to be flexed down to bot lane as a hyper. There's lots of potential there. Nocturne is an LCK favorite. All the other champions, we're not going to talk about him.
Yeah, we don't really care about those. I guess Yorick is worth mentioning because Summit does have a 100% win rate on the champion. We're going to see Sandbox in our last match, but I don't really mind. 100 range on Lucian's Q. Don't really care about that. Who's Rise? Haven't seen that champion in a while. Vi exists in League of Legends. I thought solo queue was a different game, and that's where she belongs.
The strange sister.
Yeah. We do see some Jinx, I guess, and they're somewhat similar, so maybe it's that. I don't know. Haven't really seen very much Vi in competitive, but I do like a Q buff, actually. Getting some cooldown on that Q certainly is a good thing. But the Nocturne buff is actually really exciting. Keeps him super healthy in that jungle, so excited to see what's going to happen there. Checking out the nerfs, though, Aphelios got a bit of a slap on the wrist. They said, naughty boy, you're doing a little bit too much damage, and then we didn't really address his problems. And Yuumi, some Zoomies nerf. I think this is actually a good nerf. I don't think Yuumi necessarily needed to be smashed down that much. Same to be said for Aphelios, to be perfectly honest. And his win rate certainly is not as high as it was in Week 1 as we get to the beginning of Week 4. And based on what I learned in the patch rundown, the rest of the changes don't really make too much of a difference. Maybe the Ornn change slightly. Stop his lane phase from being impressive.
I think that Ornn, I mean, he'll still be picked as a counter pick whenever he does end up coming in. Kalista, I mean, that is something to pay attention to. Yuumi, we'll probably not see her picked up right away. The Syndra change, we'll still see her out of Syndra players.
Yep.
But not out of people that just try to cheat the laning phase and have a lot of damage. Aphelios, he's still going to be around. The Guardian change, now this was interesting.
The revert, full revert.
That one is very bizarre. I don't like how they do the full revert. I would really like them to try like a middle ground and then keep going.
Yeah, right.
That would make sense, because otherwise what's the point? Conqueror change, some champions are affected by this, but obviously ranged champions are the ones that are going to suffer from this. They're going to have a much more difficult time trying to stack it. Item, Death Dance, the Death Dance change doesn't really do a whole lot. Ezreal does have a little bit of a frowny face, but it'll still build it, so...
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, staggering the damage by only half the amount on ranged champions doesn't really take away from what makes that item super good. So that's absolutely fine, especially when it's Ezreal and he gets so much of that extra spell vamp. But let's get into our first match, ladies and gentlemen, as we've got a slight update on our AR. Looking really beautiful here, and we have correct colors for the first game of our first matches. DRX look to continue that 100% win streak up against KT Rolster. And there's certainly some changes when it comes to the KT lineup, and I guess we'll keep that as a little bit of a surprise. But either team doesn't want to concede. DRX trying to continue their race to the top versus KT trying to join the West. That's a good luck. That's a big, strong good luck from me. Only took down Humble Life and Sandbox. I believe KT has the new strong team reader. Well, we'll see whether they can read DRX, who I believe should be able to topple them here.
Yeah.
And the Ceremony God, Pyoshik, if you guys caught Pog State, we did demonstrate Pyoshik doing his Lee Sin impression. It was a little bit cringy, especially when it was coming off a Humble Life esports victory. Does it require that much celebration? Not entirely sure. But we do need to talk about that, because the recent opponents for DRX have been on the lower ebb of the LCK.
Yeah, I honestly, the Pyoshik celebrations seem very out of place.
Yes.
With everything that's been going on, I'll be completely honest with you. And we'll see if he can manage to do something about that here today, because otherwise it just doesn't really make any sense.
No, it really...
Someone celebrating getting chauffeured into first place as team stats. DRX, first blood percent, they're in 6th. Win rate with a gold lead, well, I'd hope so, as they're undefeated, is 90%.
They should have a pretty high win rate. But that's showing that even in the game that they lost, or the games that they lost, I guess, they still often had a gold lead. They have lost a few games. They do take a lot of games to 3, so I mean, this isn't saying that they just always have a gold lead or anything like that, but most of the time, they definitely do. As I'm going through, yeah, it was the last 2 were actually Team Dynamics and Solo 1 Prince. DRX still need to face off against Humble Life. Looking to see what happens there, but it's KT that's going to be in the way first, followed by Damwon Gaming this week. And they get a little bit of respite based on what we can see on the standings. No surprises here as we have a look at the DRX lineup, but hold your breath, guys. This next one is going to be very different. Because KT, it's not a thing that they did on purpose. I believe Tucson is not feeling so well. Not entirely sure what's going on, but it's got a bit of a stomach bug or something like that. It's a rumor that I've heard going around. So he is not going to be playing. It will be Smeb, Bono, and Yukal joining the mid lane. But with no Tucson, that means Soan is going to be playing support. And I find this really curious. Because if you've got Kuro on your roster, why aren't you playing him in support?
Yeah, it really, there has to be something going on internally. That would be the only thing, unless they have something planned that involves a top lane champion.
Yeah, maybe it's like Amy's gonna play center every game.
Amy, they're gonna do Pantheon Talia, and we're gonna go back there. But I'm actually curious. I expect a Bruiser combo, actually, given that it's Soan instead of Kuro. Key player matchup It's going to be Deft versus Aiming. And Deft has a lot of pretty good numbers. Damage %, Aiming first in the league. KT is really surrounded by him anytime they have momentum and they're trying to drive home a win. And we'll see what happens.
Deft's CS difference at 15 is extraordinarily high. Being ahead by 15 CS in 15 minutes is actually very impressive. And the fact that he's 5th with a 31% damage share is nutty. And do you know why he's 5th? Because Carrier does too much damage as a support, plays too much Pike, and all that fun stuff. But also, Chovy exists.
Yeah.
And just does too much work. He's been playing too much of that Corki and racks up too many of those damage numbers. On average, does about 27% or something like that of his team's damage. Deft sitting, like we just saw it, around 31. But it is definitely about Deft and Chovy doing that work as far as the damage dealing, and then the rest of the team trying to facilitate as much as possible. But here we go into the ban and pick for game number 1. As you can see, a 6-0 for DRX, and they are definitely the favorites moving into this particular series. Not to mention the fact that they're on blue side, which is a side that they don't lose on very often. I believe they've lost 1 game so far out of the 3 that they've lost so far this season.
Well, 10-13, Diana's been disabled.
Yep, there is no Dianas.
Yeah, I'm very doubtful that's going to do anything. You know what would be really interesting is if Chovy locks in the Nunu. That would be very, very pog. As Volibear is going to bite the dust.
Yep, Varus is still being banned away from Deft. Deft, a fantastic Varus player. So not going to see it here this game. No gambles. DRX probably not going to ban it because they're just not a team that likes to ban Varus. Although Aiming, also someone worth respecting. Ezreal to be taken away as well. So KT must feel super bad having to ban Ezreal because Deft, one of the best Ezreals in the world, but Aiming loves the champion so much. It's one of those detriments of the red side.
And, well, we'll see what the final bans are going to be here. Obviously, Aphelios is still on people's minds in 10-13.
And is the Callista nerf going to be enough? I believe she lost, like, okay, well, apparently it's not, according to DRX. They still want to get rid of it. Looks like the meta is shaping up to be relatively similar. KT, one final ban here. Karma still available, Trundle still available. They would have been our staples, but Set is also still up, and we know Doran does love to find those flanks on that champion, and that is what's going to be banned away. I promise I didn't just consult the script.
Well, let's see what the first pick priority is going to be. Will it be the Aphelios? And it does seem like it is going to possibly get locked in. Oh, no.
Whoa.
Swap over to Graves. I'm not a big fan of blind Aphelios. Atlas, you,
Are you a fan of blind Graves?
He's okay.
Okay.
All right, you know. Not as good as some other picks, like Karma.
Yeah, or Trundle.
B1.
Trundle would have been okay as well. You know, in an LCK kind of way. I feel like I've been indoctrinated just a little bit, but we've seen that win, you know, more than a lot of the Aphelios blind picks, and especially something like a Graves first pick. Then Graves hasn't been winning a lot at all.
No, Graves has been in the grave so far here in LCK. And okay, so it's not actually going to be a Bruiser combo bot lane, which is very surprising. Ashe is going to get locked in.
I want to see someone just play Braum, because picking Braum into Aphelios is actually a decent idea.
Here's the funny thing, and I've been very vocal about this for several years, is that on the Korean server, when you get really high challenger, you have to be playing all 5 roles, to an extent.
Yeah.
So, even though Sohan's going to be on support, if this were something maybe in a different region, there would probably be more of a concern or more of a problem. This is a top laner from LCK that can probably play all 5 roles at a challenger level going into support. I don't think, for fans watching, that it's going to be as much of a nightmare as maybe someone would expect. Now, if it was Tushin going up into the top lane, we can do that. But, well, no, even then, he would probably be able to pick a neutralizing champion and do reasonably fine, as surprising as that is.
Yeah, and also, like, obviously someone's played a fair bit of Karma in his time, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
If they want to run Ashe Karma this game, top lane Karma was a thing for, like, a long time. Is currently. So, Not going to need to worry about muscle memory or something like that. Just need to worry about him accidentally walking to the wrong lane because he's normally topside. Lee Sin going to be locked in here, though, as DRX go with a very cookie-cutter start. Pyoshik has been very outspoken with how much he loves Lee Sin at the moment, believes that Lee Sin and Trundle are the two junglers of the patch. Bono believes that Rek'Sai is the champion that you want to play, and that is very Bono of him to do as well. So we'll have to see what the next round of bans is going to offer us. Remember that Karma's still a flex pick, so mid lane could still be banned away, but I believe top lane might be where they're going to focus. Give Doran the best possible blind pick option up there. KT get rid of themselves a Sylas.
Well, DRX, things are looking a little bit rough for them on B1 through B3. So far, KT are pretty well positioned to go into the next pick phase here, as LeBlanc is now going to bite the dust.
I actually like this on DRX's side, assuming that the Karma is going to be going into support. It's going to be a really rough lane, honestly, for Carrier and Deft. I think this is a really good start for KT as far as getting their, their troublesome lane that has, aiming and so on, who haven't necessarily played together in the same lane for quite some time. Make sure that that's as okay as possible. As Twisted Fate is going to be the next ban away towards Chovy. Maybe ban Zoe? Because Zoe Rek'Sai synergy? Perhaps?
Well, we'll see what... it could also just be an Azir ban away. Or so. Oh no, it's going to be Wukong.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think the Azir ban would have been the other one. Especially because it's Yukal.
Well, Kennen.
Well, that's Smeb's Kennen as well, guys. Get excited. Think back to 2015. It's probably the most famous Kennen player in the world. Whether he still has it in him, we're yet to find out. So far this season, it has been all about Nogari's Kennen and his incredible team fighting. Is this going to be top laner card? Could be.
Yeah, we'll see if they enter into a dual flex pick here so that they can try to adjust to whatever KT picks. This is another one of those weird DRX team compositions that they're not picking in response to their opponents at all. They're just picking what they want to pick.
Yeah.
And all of these champions are weak to what KT has right now. So it's another one of those situations where they're probably going to win, but they don't deserve to with the way that they've drafted.
Yeah.
And it's a Camille. So we'll see what KT ends up utilizing as a counter pick last here. But I mean, the ball is just so in their court. Everyone on DRX hard engage. They're short range. They have to jump on top of KT, and KT just has so many other luxuries available. And KT are gonna, they're gonna handshake the Akali and the Camille, with the Maokai, great. And so they're gonna get outscaled in the side lane. They're not gonna have a lot of pressure inside of laning phase. The Kennen is now allocated to support mid. I don't even.
That's mid lane Maokai.
I am upset. Take it away.
Yeah, that's got to be mid lane Maokai, right? Unless we're playing Soan Maokai support. Ah, yes, of course.
Okay.
It's I mean, she is a Woodlands Ranger. Put a tree down there with her, and Ash is going to be feeling pretty happy. Does
nice.
depend on which skin you're going to be using, but Woad Ash is definitely a favorite for a lot of players that have been around for a long time. Yours truly being one of them. Although recently Project Ash is just too cool, so I've been playing a lot of that one. Ash has got a lot of really cool skins, actually. But that's, okay. It's going to be Kennen support, so take it away.
Well, we shall see what is going to happen here.
I go through my whole Woad Ash speech, and then they just put Pikachu down there anyway. Oh my goodness.
Well,
it's a disaster.
Nautilus, Aphelios, Akali, Lee Sin, and Camille. Lots of hard engage. They are red team, so they have split push potency. They can 1-3-1 or attempt to with Camille and Akali in the later stages. They have that as an option. Lee Sin, a little bit more value. Or they're blue team, I'm sorry.
Yes.
They're 1-3-1.
I thought you were talking about their color, as in like the way that they drafted.
Too.
So I guess they are red team, as well as being blue team.
And KT, with a team composition that honestly, it's going to have to get very far ahead in bot lane and stay ahead. And if they can manage to do that, they should be in a position to capture early dragons. And if they can do that, they can try to threaten Soul Point as a means to offset
Oh, those
some of the
cheeky
pressure.
devils.
They did it again.
Oh, wait, no. Smeb's playing support. Right.
Oh.
I mean, if you got 2 top laners, you can put either of them top, and that's fine. So I guess we are talking about the Woad.
This is a pretty interesting thing. Now, even though we're looking at this and seeing what has ended up happening, now, yes, the Observer has moved where the players were from the champ select.
Yeah.
Sohan was on the bottom. The only reason that he's appearing at the top right now is because the Observer has moved it. This is really cool to look at because I feel like a couple of years from now, this is an ideal trajectory for League of Legends pro teams to eventually get at in
100%.
order to have even more edges in the draft phase when you can have players be in the support role in Champ Select, 20 seconds comes, they're still in the support role on a champion, and they're like, nah, actually, I'm going to go top lane. And that can be so big for starting items, for runes, you know, you can get small edges, and that's
even
where...
for top and mid, right? I feel like we should have solo laners instead of mid and top lane. I believe you and I have spoken about this in a Pog State episode, something like that, where it's like, ideally, you want to be able to always have that flexibility, because that way you can practice certain champions, and when you pick them in champion select, it's not like, oh, well, Chovy's going to play that one in mid lane. It's like Chovy's going to play that champion because he's this team's Aatrox player, for example. And that could have been a thing. So we're seeing it here. This is, you know, for a more sad reason, because we don't want Tucson to be unwell. But still, I do like that KT are experimenting.
And, well, at this point in the game, everything is not the end of the world. Now, Karma doesn't cheat her. She's just going to stay inside the lane, and Akali's going to be happy with this. She couldn't cheat her anyway, as she crashed Wave 2 and then let Wave 3 reset. And meanwhile, down here in bot lane, Deft and Carrier are doing just fine. You can see Smeb piling up a lot of saplings.
Yep, I did actually really like the fact that DRX were able to keep a couple of the minions outside of turret range, made sure that this wave was going to be very close to their turret, and they're going to be quite safe. Extra vision here for KT, though, as you can see. Something that Rek'Sai certainly can handle quite well. Interesting that we've got 2 blind junglers. Only when Rek'Sai, of course, is under the ground is she going to be blind. But there we go. Bit of a thematic thing happening there.
Yep.
Ironically, Bono does have actually more vision, even though the vision range is lower because of that tremor sense, like you mentioned.
And yeah, we got a bit of a trade.
Oh, wow, big Q damage to come out here as Deft is going to get exhausted, but finds the Gravitum at the right time, aiming. Gets a lot of damage back. But Smeb's going to be in trouble, and he's going to have to use that Sap Sipper quite a lot. His health bar back up.
Yeah, and so in a bizarre turn of events here, Deft and Carrier in a really good position. They can just crash this wave and recall, and it's so many minions. Aiming doesn't have teleport. Okay, great. So I was about to walk off the desk. You know, they stayed for something. But they're going to recall. And now, because Aiming and Smeb don't have enough wave clear, Deft and Carrier, they can start making their way back to the wave. We identify this wave as 1. And now 1, 2, and 3 go into Deft and Carrier, and they can threaten to freeze. And it creates a stranglehold on the opponents.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that really hurt. I felt that.
Yeah, Chovy's triggered 100%. Ahead in farm, though, as these waves crash, so not bad. As you guys may remember, UCal versus Chovy back in 2018. That best of 5 for the summer final. A very exciting final. In fact, Score's first victory for KT Rolster. Up against a Griffin that was so dominant in the regular season. Interesting to see the same matchup with one of the same teams. But a very different scenario here. As UCal certainly not at the tippy top of the LCK this time. wanting to try and challenge for that 5th place, which is the best that he can really hope for at this particular moment in time. We'll have to go through DRX, and it will be a huge win for KT if they can do it. And you can see currently right now, 400 gold in the lead. The dream.
And everything is just going very smooth right now. Obviously, Kennen is a little ahead of the Camille right now. And so on does have that spellbook. Now, I don't know why Deft is hitting some of the minions. That doesn't make any sense to me. Got a trade coming out. Maelstrom!
Oh, yeah, really, really good stun coming out there to deny Doran as so on. Would have liked to have landed that last Q.
Yep.
He's going to be able to, though, as Pyosik is in position. This wave is going to crash. They do have full information. Good dodge of the hookshot. Max range there from Doran in order to get him out. And he does have the teleport, but this will be a turret plate and a cannon creep denied from the Camille.
Doran just playing the laning phase very, very not ideal with that trade.
Suboptimally,
yeah, suboptimal.
One could say. Yep.
And Doran now ding 6. So he was 2 minions off of getting the Hextech ultimatum. Teleport going to come out from so on. Wave is now coming back into him. Now, he doesn't have his ultimate available, and Camille does, but he's so far ahead on items. Seeker's Arm Guard and an Amp Tome versus double Longsword Rejuve Bead. And doesn't space correctly there, ends up getting tapped.
Yep.
Bono about to come in for a gank.
Oh, this is a big stacked wave. So on looking for it. We'll find that marker, the Storm. And the ulti's going to be there for Doran, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough as he does flash himself away, but it's to no avail, and First Blood goes over to so on.
Yeah, and top lane is a complete mess at this point. And so KT, they're doing a very good job at getting ahead in a lane where I wouldn't have expected it to be busted so wide open so early. And this really helps offset the pressure that could be present, or elsewhere on the map in mid and bottom, given the laners. And now DRX, they look like they wanted to take the dragon, but Bono is here. Pyosik just taking so much damage.
Yeah, Dragon gets a little bit upset with Smeb there. Looks like KT have stopped the dragon. 4 control wards towards the bottom side of the map, 0 on this top side. You can see Doran definitely on an island right now, but it's not an island he wants to be on. No, this isn't one of those questions like, if you're on a desert island, which kind of food would you want to take with you? This is like, you're actually trapped on a desert island.
한번 볼게. 네, 와봐요.
Once again.
웬만하면 잡아 이거.
Well, just a very simple gank setup.
노플,
Really nice.
나이스.
Says no flash, nice. Runs forward, ends up having to do the flash hurricane, but it's completely fine if you're KT.
Yep, trades that one back, and KT are going to be able to take this first. Ocean Drake, next one going to be a Cloud, so Mountain or Infernal, some good ones here for either side. As far as Mountain Drake's probably happier to get it if you're KT, but both teams probably about equal value, I guess. Pyosik's going to start off Shelly. Doran's going to move on down and clear out this control ward and see whether Bono is going to be able to stop the Lee Sin from getting any work done. Ahead in farm a little bit is Pyosik, but hasn't really been able to do anything and has really been caught out of position quite a few times. Hawkshot is going to spot the Lee Sin. And Bono gets into the back of this pit. They do have Carrier in the area. And Chovy has moved back towards the mid lane. But if Deft can just shove this lane forward, then I believe DRX is probably just going to win out from the trade anyway, because aiming was invested in this one, unless Chovy dies, but he will have Shuriken backlit. He'll be able to change his position.
Yeah.
Even gets the CS. Nicely done. His onslaught is going to be able to take down this turret plate.
And so the gold advantage for KT, it's only a couple hundred right now. Deft does slice through yet another turret plate. Maybe going to be able to actually get 3 here. Yes, he will.
Goodness, yeah, that's a lot of extra money for the Aphelios.
And Deft is just very far ahead right now in the CS department. He has a call to boot. And you can see Pyosik wanted to start at the Rift Herald. Honestly, I have no idea what he's doing this whole game, as he ends up having to back off it because obviously Rek'Sai has to be on the left side of the map. So you know that Tremor Sense is going to go off because you have to kite the Rift Herald, which means you're going to give away the bumps. Just doesn't make any sense. All of his camps were coming up, the Wolves were respawning can't really understand. This is what we were talking about earlier at the very start of the broadcast with the player of the game dances.
Yeah.
Right? Not really, you know.
You got to earn them, I think, a little bit more. As Carrier going to get himself out of there. Smurf's going to take a fair bit of damage here from Deft, who actually was outspoken saying that he wanted to kill Smurf. Because apparently he's been teasing Deft a little bit. Of course, former KT teammates, so it's all in jest. But it was interesting. As KT will be able to take down Shelly. So a lot of time invested, but they do manage to get the objective that they were looking for. With the 3 turret plates being picked up by DRX. Bottom lane, though, I think DRX is going to be absolutely fine with this outcome. It's about a 2-wave lead here for the Aphelios as well. And a game that Deft can carry. This could be an exciting one. It's been a lot of his other teammates that have been stealing away plays of the game and things like that.
And Deft is in a really, really good position this game. Fortunately for everyone involved, second Drake of the game is Cloud. So we will have an exciting Soul. Nonetheless, Mountain and Infernal are going to be on the table. And Kennen stayed in lane for a really long time despite the advantage. Obviously, he does have Spellbook, but never really finding any sort of a crash or anything. Now, he does get it off first, which means that Doran's a little bit slower to get back, and so Sohan will retain priority and control of the wave. But he recalls straight into Proto Belt. Camille, on the other hand, only gets Tiamat and Phage, and so this is a pretty big spike in timing for Kennen. The question is what good is this spike in timing unless a team fight takes place? And it's going to be a little bit awkward for KT to force or create that, given there's no neutral objectives and also Cloud Drake, not the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly. So fighting over the Cloud Drake is almost unnecessary here, and if DRX can stack up 4 of either Mountain or Infernal, they're going to be extraordinarily happy. So only needing to spike in the next 6 minutes, I guess, assuming the Cloud Drake's going to be taken immediately, is actually absolutely fine. They can just sit back and chill. Chovy doing Chovy things at the moment, currently ahead against a lane bully, in theory, especially against melee opponents.
Alright, well,
Still doing great on the Akali as this tower is going to go down. First turret blood going over to KT, and they'll reclaim that gold lead for the moment.
And Doran is just so far behind on the Camille. Well, actually, Sohan might have bitten off a little bit more than he can chew. Actually, he might.
Yeah, there's the kickback. Finds the Q as well, does Pioshik, but look at the value from the slicing Maelstrom. Doran holding the ulti. No, actually, used that earlier on.
Yeah.
I tell a lie, but still. Able to lock down that kill quite nicely. DRX do get one back. Can't believe that's the second kill of this game. It's been very slow.
That's an overextend that's just completely unnecessary. Your jungler's on the opposite side of the map. Bot lane is already behind. Mid lane is slightly behind, etc. You have a dragon coming up that you can go to. Completely unnecessary disregard for the state of the game. And Sohan just gives away everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
At this point, Camille, by the time all is said and done, is almost back at a pretty okay point when you consider that kill was a kill and an assist. Camille is getting all these minion waves that Sohan's missing. Gonna get a turret plate as well. And so now the gold score, it's back in DRX's favor, and the top laner who should have been out of the game is back in it.
Exactly, and this is the top laner that was going to scale, going to win that split push in the end eventually anyway, because of course you pick Kennen for the team fights rather than getting those 1v1s working, and it's AP Kennen, so of course that's what it's going to be designed to do. So Doran maybe back on track, and heading towards that Trinity Force at a much faster clip. Now has the dagger. Just needs to get that stinger completed before the Trinity Force is going to be online. Deft has his Infinity Edge, also completed his Cull. He has got a lot of money there on that bottom side.
Hey, just take a look at this. You're never getting top tier 2. Ever. Like, ever.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to escort Shelly to try and get another charge or something like that, but even that's extremely greedy.
Because you're right. There's never going to be a stage of the game where you're reliably pushing top tier 2 and looking to get that 500 gold. It's so greedy beyond words relative to the game state, and he rightfully so, he ends up getting punished for it.
Yeah.
And so now, KT, they did get Cloud, but now this opens up DRX the chance to get 4 Infernal Dragons.
The Quadra Fire Drake. That is very, very frightening.
Very pog.
Well, speaking of Pog, we'll see whether Chovy's going to wake up this game and get those game-winning plays working out so he can get those well-deserved Player of the Game points. A very weird league, one without Chovy at the very top of those standings. He now does have his Gunblade and his anti-CC shoes in those Merc Treads.
Well, seems like this game is really falling apart for KT in a sense, because we mentioned Akali and Camille will start to come online. The lanes that should have won lost. So
Yeah.
it is a very, very unfortunate situation. Now, yes, Karma did keep up somewhat in CS, but it's not the lane was not going the way that it should have.
I feel like Yukao should be ahead 20 CS and you're still okay being Chovy, actually.
Yeah.
Like at this stage. So you're such a lane bully as the Karma. You should be able to put on a little bit more pressure than this, but it's been good control as Deft gets optimal teamfight guns. A lot of ammo remains. We'll see whether DRX can actually start up a fight. I think fighting around good guns from an Aphelios is something that the entire team needs to be able to be good at, and a lot of LCK teams are good at it. But you can see that's why they were looking for that timing. Just going to move another minion wave towards this outer turret mid lane. Smeb just trying to keep his eye out with his little saplings. DRX slowly but surely getting things back together, and the split push should now be able to continue as a few of these turrets have fallen down.
And Soan just dinged 12, but you can see that Doran is also just about to ding it, so really not behind in the XP department, all things considered.
Yeah, I think it's that one kill actually that is creating so much of a difference. I think it was a full level before this.
Yeah.
But now I'm nowhere near it. The Cannon sort of milling about at the moment. Maybe understanding that it's going to be really hard to win team fights.
Yeah.
Sorry, to win 1v1s. Team fights, that's what you want. But 1v1s, not so much.
Like Camille has Trinity Force. Yeah, so she just picked that up. Has magical boots to boot as well. And Soan is just going to be... he should recall and pick up a stopwatch before this Infernal Dragon fight. And you can see DRX, they're going for an 18-minute Rift Herald capture, roughly. Now, obviously, there's no turret plates to get, so we'll see how they utilize it. Maybe they just summon it to try to draw attention to mid lane as the dragon's up. But this is going to mean that Lee Sin doesn't get to recall at all.
I think it's definitely a Dragon Drake. Sorry, a Dragon Herald.
Yep.
Move it into the mid lane. Do a bit of a drive-by here as Pyoshik should be able to use that to create positional advantage for DRX as we zoom all the way out. A lot of vision available here for DRX as Carrier finds himself a control ward. Doran just going to be hookshotting around this map. Smeb might be put out of position, but remember, does have Twisted Advance to create some issues. And there we go. The kickback immediately as Pyoshik takes a lot of damage. The rest of the skill shots are going to miss, though.
A very big panic ultimate by Pyoshik. Dragon's up right now. It looks like they're going to summon the Rift Herald in mid.
Yeah, and actually DRX do manage to coax KT over as that's the depth charge. Bono going to try and flash his way out as Doran trying to get in there. Yukao gets a bit of a snare up, but goodbye Bono. And that is no jungler for the ensuing Infernal fight, and Def just found a 3-man route. Does still have to flash his way out, and there's no more Aphelios for this particular battle. Soan desperately trying to find the backline as Def is taken down, stuck between a rock and a hard place, and now Chovy in a similar scenario. This is a disaster for DRX after it looked like they'd won. Just wasn't going to happen. Smeb goes golden, and I believe now it should be KT taking the dragon.
Yeah, I have no idea what DRX were doing after they got Bono. It should have just been go to the Infernal Dragon.
Right.
After it reset, you have several champions that are pooling so much gold on the map, and instead, in traditional DRX fashion, they run headfirst into KT for no reason, and they like to play towards the variants. And it was a really, really good ultimate out of Smeb as well to punish that mistake. And so now KT, they're threatening Soul Point.
This is such a huge swing.
Yeah. This game is a roller coaster. So we take a look at this, and you can see Kyoshik autoing the turret for God knows why. And gets over into the fight. Really good lockup. Hextech ultimatum used by Doran to confirm the kill. Right here, everyone just turn around, go right down to the dragon. It's an objective on the map. It gives you additional AD and AP amplification. It's a secret, Alice. It really is.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, but instead, they want to funnel into the narrow corridor against the Maokai Karma Ash and get punished for it, so.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an overextension there by Deft, unfortunately, as we're going to have a look at Smeb.
이거 볼게 앞에. 앞라인부터. 이겨.
We win.
미신부터. 이거 볼게.
I'll look for this.
드라.
Let's go.
Yep, Scrap Dragon. Deft manages to kill Smeb. Immediately finds revenge.
Yeah.
As we get back into live, as Pyoshik's going to start off the Baron. Why not?
Yeah, and well, they have Kog'Maw on Aphelios.
That's a depth charge. Yeah, they do take... I mean, this Baron is going down extraordinarily quickly. The arrow going to just sail past majestically. Carrier with a pretty good stopwatch, but he will flash into the pit. They secure the Baron. Carrier survives for a very long time. Now, DRX need to try and escape. Bono likely to fall down, as it is going to be Doran that grabs that kill. Chovy backflips out of the pit, and now KT look a little bit silly. They do pick up the kill onto the Camille, but the rest of the members look to be able to escape and get those empowered recalls home.
Yeah, and Chovy runs into mid, sends a wave up the middle lane. He's going to make his way down to, I believe, the golems now, and maybe just look to capture them. No, he's going to actually kill a ward first. So, at the end of it all, Gunblade and it looks like Death Dance is going to be the next item, actually, on the Akali.
Don't mind it at all.
Yeah, and so on instead. Yeah, Q.
Yeah.
Q, kick. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't have kick.
That's a lot of years, though, that he has to pick up. And,
yeah.
You land those Qs, you get those kills. Zukao going to find himself a control ward. Kyoshin's going to find himself a blue buff. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like KT, a lot of the theories are correct, but the execution not quite working out after they had everything exactly where they wanted it after that soul point secure.
It just doesn't make really that much sense what Smeb's doing in a spot like this. If he doesn't go down, he is a very big component to KT being able to win team fights because of the Maokai ultimate, twisting advance, even the saplings. And Keria, he goes golden and flashes. Honestly, I don't know why he flashed.
Yeah, he was probably dead anyway, right?
So, very unfortunate panic flash. Doran does get a kill onto Bono at the very top. And
aiming splash, actually. That's a big deal.
At the end of it, DRX, they come out with a gold advantage. Camille is really almost at that point where she's just a split-pushing menace. And Akali now with 2 items is also, it's going to be impossible.
Double spellbound.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's insane sustain.
Now, I actually want to highlight this. A lot of people think that the passives don't stack. Gunblade and Death Dance. They do. Yeah. You can actually go onto the League wiki, and I think it even specifies that they stack because it's a very, very common misconception that people have about the 2 items.
They're also, it's different buffs, right? I'm pretty sure Gunblade is Spellvamp and Lifesteal, whereas Death Dance is very...
all damage.
Like actual, like it's a do damage, get health. It's a different thing, so... 3 different stats, but they do work in conjunction with one another, and you're going to see Chovy's health bar yo-yo a fair bit. Particular game. So I'm glad you specified that, because actually if someone asked me that question directly, I'd probably be like, I have a feeling I know. But I hadn't looked it up too recently.
Well, 20 seconds until that Infernal. And really, I mean, this is KT's last hurrah. If they lose this Infernal Dragon, they're probably going to lose the game.
But if they win it,
they win the game. So... it's an interesting thing in that this is going to be the do or die objective, and the ward
the ward just dissipated. That is a disaster. That would have been so good.
They're just going to burst it.
Yep, looks like Deft.
No steal possible.
Doesn't even necessarily have the greatest guns, but he's got a lot of AoE, and he's got the Gravitum at the
take
ready
the
as well.
fight?
Sneb taking a lot of damage. Infernum will tear them apart. My God, but does get stunned up for a moment. Carrier keeps himself alive thanks to Pyoshik there, but 2.5k damage, and Deft got denied a lot of the damage.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like KT, they seemingly wanted to fight, but they were very late getting to that fight altogether, and then very surprising, they almost walked headfirst into oblivion.
Ooh, Doran potentially looking for something there as Pyoshik finds himself a Q, immediately pops back, understands that there were ways to try and fight back as Doran once again hopping in as Chovy going for the flank, nails the Shuriken, but does have to go into the Shroud. There is a lot of peel and CC, but DRX just do it so many times. The Lee Sin immediately goes down, Doran goes golden, trying to keep himself alive now, but Deft once again in melee range for some unknown reason. And now someone's looking to chase after Chovy and Carrier. This game is very strange, LS.
If you remember what we talked about in the Champ Select,
Yeah.
KT's whole team comp is able to hold Phalanx, and DRX's is all must go in, all short range, etc. So the way to win for DRX is via the 1-3-1 with Camille and Akali, finding openings, finding angles, and then really just picking apart KT via 1,000 cuts. When you try to do this direct hard-on engagement, it's never going to work out. So we see Chovy try to go in, he gets exhausted right away. This looks like a wombo, and then another really nice knock-up onto Pyoshik. I mean, Lee Sin's a terrible champion. And it's spots like this where it's so impossible for him to find openings so consistently.
Yeah. I was just watching Deft, and I guess it sort of made sense what his movements were, but it also really didn't. And Carrier was nowhere near him. There was no way for the Nautilus to help peel or anything like that. And he had Infernum Gravitum, which is more about, like, let's try and play this one slow, you know? Let's get the CC out there, and then let's use that AoE. But it does require positioning to make that one work. Anyway, not the end of the world by any means. It's 3 items for both 80 carries. Naming without his stopwatch now could be important.
I really want to add an asterisk to where if DRX continues to take team fights of that nature, the game's not over, basically by a long shot. If they go into split push methods in order to win the game, it's going to be very hard for KT to play. And Death Stance almost completed by Camille. Zanya's Hourglass is effectively completed on Akali, given that Seekers is fully stacked with the stopwatch. Here we go.
Yep, got another team fight here as Bono's trying to get himself out of there. The depth charge does interrupt as Chovy is going to use that stopwatch.
Whoa!
And the 200 years will finally work out. Big Zanya's there as Sohan uses the Slashing Maelstrom. Doesn't quite get enough work done, but Pyoshik will fall down, and the Ashe is just kiting it down with so much DPS. Deft left alive this time around, but the rest of the team not quite so lucky. Carrier and Pyoshik that have fallen, and Deft, I have a feeling, is going to be joining them in the Death Chamber. The volley is going to connect. Deft, can you actually land a couple of autos here as the onslaught? Not really enough, and that is a lot of Inspire Shield to be utilized.
Well, we just said it again. If they keep trying to do the team fights like this, it's going to be bad news bears. As KT now are going to get the Baron, this will persist into the Infernal Soul.
There's a blast cone here. Doran is in the area. Over goes Chovy. Going for it once again in the Shroud now.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, he's massive ultimate though. Gets a kill on his way out. Now Doran fighting 1v1 versus Sohan. Bono's going to turn up, but now looks to go back in. This is ridiculous. Pyoshik will get in there as well as it's now his turn. Misses the Q. LS is going to leave as Carrier is going to turn up, and they're going to disengage. This is cue the yakety sax. Wait. Things happened, LS. Please explain the team fight.
I don't want to. Don't make me watch. Alright, well, Chovy tries to go in again. You have Doran coming in on the flank to grab him. Snares up everyone, but the problem is the corridor. Kennen is too strong in this situation as well as Maokai.
Yeah, you're playing into it.
You're running straight into a Phalanx and you haven't pulled them apart enough, you haven't stretched them thin enough in the team fight to where they're in a wide concave or something, and they can't really protect one another. Now Chovy is going hero mode in the team fight with his ultimate, and right here, Doran, he could just end up leaving, and for some reason, he's out, and then he goes right back in. And close your eyes out.
Oh, no. Oh, God. That was me preparing myself to look at that one again, as we're going to have a look at this one from Chovy's perspective. As he does get a lot of damage on his ult for the second round. I mean, that's the dream, right?
Actually, what's going on? No, wanted to hear what he said.
I hope he said worth. That's what I'm assuming he said.
Play.
Absolutely worth, 100%. Well, we've got getting towards 3 Death's Dance here on DRX's side. Deft, I believe, will be building one, as he does have cleanse for any pesky Ash arrows that do come across. Aiming does have a GA, so he's not going to be as frightened of the assassinations.
DRX got Infernal.
They did too, yes.
During that time, so, I mean, it also can't be understated. Infernal for Akali is so disgusting in terms of value.
As soon as you double dip onto those stats, it's like you're actually just getting double the Drakes.
One of the best champions in the game for Infernal Dragon. And so, we'll see. The goal score is dead even. It's all a matter of how these two team comps fight. KT should win any Phalanx-esque fight where they're able to fight in the same formation we've seen them do time and time and time again.
Yeah.
If DRX split pushes, there's no real answer from KT, and with the champions that DRX has, it's also very hard for KT to just start the Baron up and then have to run into DRX, which then separates that Phalanx mold that they should so desperately be wanting to hold.
Yeah, so right now it should be Doran on the bottom side of the map. He's got teleport. He can try to stop any potential Barons. If KT try to force, Chovy can go topside because without teleport, that's fine. He can just backflip his way over and he will be in the Baron pit no matter which part of the lane he's at. Aiming goes down to half health, and so does Smeb. Okay, what happens when you get hit by a turret, I guess, as Deft finally has those guns switched back from. It's Chovy lying in wait, wanting to pick up anyone that's looking for vision. And Doran does move bottom lane, so at least we do have that starting up.
And, well,
I take it all back.
Yeah.
He's back here. We're looking for a team fight again.
Guardian Angel picked up, and so that will actually give Camille a lot of power because KT fights around cooldowns.
Yep. Okay, arrow going to land, but that is fantastic buffering of the hookshot. Doran gets himself out. Love it. Still, I'm very confused. I have no idea how this game's going to end, to be honest. I feel like as soon as we make an assumption, the team that we think is going to win is just going to throw it all away. Oh, yeah, give it to me.
All right, yeah. So, honestly, I saw that Korea started getting some Ben & Jerry's ice cream.
Oh, okay.
They are getting more flavors. Originally, they only had 2, but now they're up to 6.
Whoa.
Yeah. Have you ever had Ben & Jerry's?
No, I haven't.
It's really good. The ice cream flavors, they're fantastic.
Okay. Give me an example.
The Cherry Garcia is really nice.
All right.
Okay.
I just personally like
Brown.
vanilla. I'm a vanilla fan.
Do you like cookie dough?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Okay.
I mean, I think that you have to... cookie dough you have to like. I don't think you can not like cookie dough. It's just the goods. As KT, they're gonna start off the Baron. There we go. Just took a bit of ice cream once again to coax them out. As our DRX are going to be pretty late to this one. Carrier going to have a check first, and it looks like KT are looking to just try and back away. They have taken a fair bit of damage as Arrow is going to connect. Carrier does immediately go into that Gargoyle Stone Plate as the tag comes through. From Deft, he's in a pretty safe position at the moment. Hextech Ultimatum comes down. It looks like they are trying to just pick off Doran. Remember, he does have a GA, though. Not exactly the greatest target to single out this point in time, as Pioshik's going to miss the Q. Chovy misses the backflip, I believe. They do get some vision. Infernal Drake in 20 seconds. As Carrier decides to go all the way in. pooped. Back there as in goes Someone. A fantastic ultimate and carrier is taken down first. Def gets exhausted as Someone goes golden. As you can see, Doran gets himself out of the fight as the GA is parked. And now, this could be the 200 years that they're looking for. Oh my god, it was so close, but not close enough. As the Maokai is taken down, but he is not the target you're looking for. And it looks to me like Aiming just wants to win the game from this point on.
And so KT, they march forward slowly, and DRX does the same mistake that they have done six, right?
Yeah.
In a row, this game over and over and over. I wish I could say that there's sentient thought detected, but I don't think that there is. With the decision making that has been going on here, I mean, I have nothing nice to say, Atlas. It's actually insanity.
It is. Well, we'll see whether Chovy can actually defend. Goes golden after taking down the cannon, but the Nexus turrets are going to fall. If Aiming falls, then this could be a big problem, as you can see Chovy trying to get that health back. He survives for such a long time. Deft is up in 1 second, but I have a feeling that this is not going to be enough. There's a lot of years, but not enough to save that Nexus. And KT will take game 1.
Is there a way to give player of the game for the draft, or?
Yeah.
Bono had some really sick knockups. Meb had some really good snares. I'm trying to think of like who to allocate this to, because it really was like a team effort. I can't give it.
You don't want to give it to Sowan because he overextended, right? Yeah.
He threw it away to so many points. I think it's either.
I think
Bono?
Aiming. I mean, Aiming did a lot of damage, right? He was the only one that didn't screw up. I mean, it depends on what you want to give the player of the game for, you know? I mean, maybe it's you, Cal, in the end.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I'm going to give it to Bono.
I mean, you know, Aiming was like 9-1 and 8. Just look at the scoreline.
He stood still.
Yeah, he did.
As they came into him.
Yeah. He obviously was writing something in all chat that coaxed them to do that, all right?
I'm giving it to Bono.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. And is that Bono with 3 in a row from KT wins?
That might be, yeah.
Do we have to readjust our opinion of this player? Because he's had moments in seasons past, but damn, starting to pull it back together. DRX though, that was just a cavalcade of not knowing what to do with your composition. It was overconfidence and it was underappreciation for what their comp was supposed to do in that game.
Yeah.
And look, it's likely that they come back and win this series. They love the 3 games, but this is not boding well for the big match, which is against Darmon later in the week.
The thing that's so ridiculous is they have teleport even though the replay doesn't show it. It is just a complete lack of awareness of the situation inside of this game. It is literally, I don't even know. I don't know, Atlas. I'm trying to think of my natural instincts are to curse and use very bad words to describe what I'm seeing. And it is very difficult for me to try to even understand what their thought processes are.
가인이야, 괜찮아.
Okay, watch this.
괜찮아,
Watch Aiming
괜찮아.
hit the
앞에,
closest enemy.
앞에, 카메.
Yeah, that one's the closest. One's the closest. Next one, that's closest.
아니야, 나
Closest.
쉴드 줘.
Closest. Oh my god, the peel is just so good with this comp as well.
In the fight?
I mean, I actually don't think he needed to do anything.
He didn't
I
need
think
to.
he just
I'm
attack
pointing it
moved
out.
towards the mid lane and he would have been okay. Press Q a couple of times, but I mean, that's what this comp's good at, right? That's what KT should be able to do. And yes, Aiming did utilize that moment very beautifully, right? That was exactly the execution that you needed. Whether it's easy or not, it doesn't matter. That's what this comp was designed to do. KT played that way very nicely. DRX should never have been there.
Well, I mean, this is the end result. And DRX does this all the time, and it's the big worry where even if they're top of the standings right now and might even end first in the regular split, come Worlds, you can't play like this.
No.
You won't win. So it's all just futile. We endure a summer split of this level of play, and then at Worlds, Korea.
Boom. Well, we'll see whether it's going to continue as we move into game number 2. I'm hoping for an adjustment in the draft as DRX move over to red side. But for now, we just have to take a little bit of a break, reset, and pray that DRX does the same thing to give us a competitive match in game number 2. If their first loss is against KT and it's a 2-0, that's not what we want. We'll see you after the break.
끝났다 이거.
조심해 너 피어.
아 이거
아.
만트라 무조건 아낄 거거든. 생각만 해줄래?
아직 안 끝났어. 천천히 해.
나 아까
라인만
있을
지울 생각 알려면 못 죽게 하면 돼나 눈 돌아.
볼필
천천히.
실수야 천천히.
아직 안 끝났어. 천천히. 집중.
신기해야 돼.
나 안 죽어 안
뒤에
죽어.
거부터.
아 마크 할게. 아칼리
타워 깨야 돼 타워.
아칼리 마무리해야 될 것 같은데. 아칼리만.
5초.
나 못 끝.
타워
뭉치지 마.
타워 제발.
끝났어.
나이스.
컴다운.
오케이.